I told you my ghost story, like my encounter with a ghost.
Was it like a Foxy like?
No, when I was driving up to my school, I think I told
Oh
the story.
yeah, that you saw somebody, and when you tell it to your friends, they were like, "What are you talking about? Like what?" And then
Yeah,
it was something that guy was dead like years ago, you know, and that you look back, it's like he's no longer there.
yeah, I was driving on this giant ass road and I saw this guy just clear as day, and he was walking away from the car, and it was a snowstorm, and I was just like, what the fuck is that guy doing here? I have to offer him a ride. So I'm getting closer to him, and I look down to fix the heating in my car, and I look back up and he's no longer there. So I thought he had fallen down because he was walking on this slope.
Right.
And I jumped out of my car to like check out if he was okay. But like I had been on that road alone for like half an hour, and then when I looked, there wasn't like no footprints or anything, and I was just like, wow, I really am just alone here, aren't I?
Jeez, have you ever encountered it again?
Yeah, well, my friend actually. So like a year later, almost a year to the day, it was a year and 2 days later. I know this because I got a memory on Snapchat, and I was just like, oh, this is taken like 2 days after I saw that ghost. And a friend of mine calls, and he says like, remember that ghost story you told me last year? And I was just like, yeah, about the guy on the road. And he said, yeah. And I said, yeah, I remember it. Why are you asking? He asked me, where were you? Like, where were you driving? And I said, I don't know my exact location because I had to take this like off-route thing. But my next stop should have been Staðarskóli, which is this place in Iceland. Yeah. And he goes, okay, so next stop will be Staðarskóli. You said that? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay, because that's my next stop. And I just saw someone on the road.
No.
True story. And that was a year later.
That's a year later after you encountered it. And then he just recently tells you like, yeah.
Yeah, a year and 2 days.
Bro, shit. Like that's
and
wow.
I have another great story for it. This happened to me and my brother, and this is something straight out of a horror film. Like this could be a horror scene.
All right. Okay. Let's lay it out.
Okay, so I work at the post office and I drive like packages and mail during like the latter part of the day, like from 5 to 8 or 5 to 9, depending on how much is going on. And when I have to deliver like big packages at the end of the shift, I save them for the latter part, because sometimes if there's way much, like if it's a crazy shift, I wait until I have to put them in the car later on. So I usually take my brother with me just so he can help me lift this shit up. And we were driving, and there was this two packages into the same apartment complex, but for two people. So I didn't know which of them to start with because they were on like separate levels, and it was so badly marked. I didn't really think which one to go first to. So I was just like, oh, let's just pick this guy here. Let's just say his name was like Lee. Just go with whatever. It was like Lee, and then the other package was for a woman named Rosa. Let's just say Lee and Rosa, whatever. So I ring. No, wait, I'm screwing this up. I rang the bell to the woman's apartment.
Okay.
Like Rosa's apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're buzzed in like almost immediately. Like just like, okay. And then I realized I hadn't checked out where they were exactly in the apartment complex. So I just kind of looked and I was like, okay, she's either at the 3rd floor to the right or the 2nd floor to the right, because it was really weirdly ordered.
Okay.
I was just like, fuck it. We'll just go to Lee's first because we're already inside the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, he's definitely in the middle somewhere. So we went to the 2nd floor to the middle, and we knocked, and he came to the door, and I was just like, hey, do you know where Rosa lives? And he's just like, no, I don't know of a Rosa in this apartment. I was just like, oh, that's a nuisance.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, okay, she's definitely either to this door here to the right or the door to the right on the next floor. So we knocked, and I knocked, and then I rang a bell, no one. And I was just like, okay, so she's definitely on the 3rd floor, right? Like Occam's razor tells me everything here. So my brother and I go to the 3rd floor, and I knock, and I knock, and I knock, and I knock, and I rang a bell. And the story kind of switches perspectives here because it's so much better from the perspective of my brother who's with me, because he sees me like looking at this package, and then he sees me do this. And so I turn to him and I say, because my brother's name is John, I turned to him and said, hey, John, if she's not at home, who buzzed us in?
Oh.
Because I rang her bell first from outside the building.
Oh.
And as soon as those words leave my mouth, the power in the building goes off.
What?
NANI?
Can't make this shit up.
Oh, hell no.
Just because my brother, he because I was just trying to figure the shit out, and he just sees me go like this.
And
John,
your brother's like,
yeah. If she's not at home, who buzzed us in? Poof.
Oh no.
That's a true story. And I don't think I've ever ran as fast as I ran out that door.
Hey, at that point, I'll just let go of the package and I'm out. No, sir. No, you're on that point. Holy Santa Claus shit, bro.
Yeah, like I said, it's something straight out of a fucking horror movie.
Golly, bro.
Like, it has a twist and everything. It's just...
Yeah, bro, you can't make this shit up, bro.
That's why usually when I tell people this story, I have my brother with me for him to tell the latter part, because that's from his perspective.
Oh, yeah, bro.
It was amazing.
Oh, my God, bro. And do you actually get encountered like this often, or is it just like...
Nah, those are my only two. Like, I've only seen the one ghost.
But this one, you gotta admit, like, yeah, no, there's something behind all this shit.
Yeah, and there's also this one house that here in Westman Island, that a lovely, lovely woman lives there. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, brother. But every time I have to take a package to that house, and it's on a dark night or a dark stormy night or something, I don't know what it is, but that house feels evil.
NANI?
My grandmother was... she believed in ghosts, and she actually told me that she had seen a ghost or two in her time, and I believe her when she says this, because my grandmother wouldn't lie to me. And the thing about, she says, like, she could feel if a house was good or not, and sometimes I felt like I could feel that too. So I think I kind of got that from her. Like, even though I was a skeptic at a time, I could always, like, I would never ignore if I felt something wrong with the house. But like I said, that house here in A&Rs, a lovely woman lives there. I've met her. She's great woman. But there's something awful about that house. Every time I go near it, I can just, my heart, my chest just starts pounding. I'm just like, there's something off. It just doesn't feel right.
It's that, sixth sense that you get, that, when you feel like something ain't right about something, and then you just, like, boom, it just kicks in.
Yeah, like I said, the woman who lives there is lovely. She's nothing wrong with her, but just the house itself feels like evil.
No, I will suggest you not to deliver that anymore.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I took a friend of mine once on one of my shifts just to show her, like, what my job is, how everything is, and she's kind of sensitive to this stuff. Like, she's seen ghosts and everything. Like, she told me about this one ghost she saw when she was a kid. I want to write that thing into a scene. It's terrifying.
Oh.
But when, for some strange coincidence, when I take her on my shift, I actually have to deliver a package to that very house. And I hadn't told her about that house. And so I drive and I go up to the house, and she goes, "There's something evil about this house." And I'm just...
And you haven't said shit.
I hadn't told her fuck.
No.
Like, she felt it too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, dude,
Like,
stop delivering that house. You don't need to deliver anymore. It only takes one more package, that one package day in which the lady tells say, "Would you come in, please?"
Yeah.
Hey, it's the nice ones that are the evil ones.
Yeah.
I've seen this too many times in many shows and many movies. All nice looking lady, very humble, very sensitive. "I need your help. I can't do this by myself. All right, let me come in."
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is we actually have a system with that house in agreements with her. Like, this one time she wasn't at home, so I had to call her to check up on her. And she said just like, "No, if I'm not home, just because I have to go to get to the main door, I have to go through this like small little corridor. So no one's going to be there. And the house is just like way outside of the island. So,
bro, seriously?
Yeah, it just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? But the thing is, if she's not at home, I can just leave the package there. So I never actually have to knock there anymore. I just go up there like.
Oh my god, bro! You can make a movie out of this. You can't make this shit up.
Nah, it's great. I don't know why. I love being scared. I don't know why. Maybe I hate myself. It's just.
You and me both, bro. Like, I hate being scared too. I don't know why I love watching horror games or watching horror movies. And I tell you, I was never like that when I was a young kid. I was never like that. I was more comedy and shit, like action, adventure, sure. You know what? Now horror is like, no. Now I'm just like, hey, I'll watch it, and then I just like, why did I watch this? Why the fuck did I watch this, bro? Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. There's this thing. I was going to add something here. Yeah, back in my dorms where I went to school, where I recently graduated from, one time there was this.
By the way, congratulations
snowstorm.
on that, bro.
Thank you.
Yes.
During that, okay, so I saw that ghost, and then I barely made it back up north because of the snowstorm. It was just maddening. It was the worst snowstorm in probably years. And we were at the dorms, and this was the same time. This is the Snapchat memory I got, because this was the day the power went out for 14 hours.
Oh.
And we were snowed in. We were stuck in the dorms, no power. And it started getting dark around 8 o'clock, and the power didn't come back until like 4:30 in the morning.
Nope. No.
So what else do you do with your friend? You walk around with a flashlight.
Nope. I will stay in my room, thank you very much, and play Yu-Gi-Oh. That's it.
Yeah.
Nope. Walk around the fucking building with a flashlight in the dark?
Well, I mean, someone had told us that this place was haunted, so we kind of wanted to. I don't know. But I think I had like one small little ghost encounter in that place, but not at that time, because my dorm room was at the very end of the hall. Well, it kind of separated into two things, because at the end of the hall, there's another door in the middle. I was on the door to the left, the only door there. But there's this door right at the end, and you have to open it up to get to the small little lounge, which also leads to the staircase that can take you between floors. Right. But that door, like, you cannot close it like slowly. It always just like, so you always know when someone goes through it. And thing is, since I was at the end of the hall and it had this like weird echo, so oftentimes during the night at the dorm room when everyone's asleep, but I'm a night owl, so I would just be typing at my keyboard, and I would start to hear footsteps outside my dorm, outside my door, and someone had to be walking like you would, like, clearly, and then I would hear the footsteps fade away, but in the direction from the door, like, so someone would have had to gone through that fucking door. But like I said, you can't close that door without it making a fucking noise. So where the fuck are those footsteps coming from? Nope.
No. You a mad lad. You're a mad lad, man. Oh no. The closest thing I can give you as a ghost story, my college, where I used to go in Puerto Rico, surprisingly, it used to be an all asylum. An all asylum with nuns and shit and whatnot. So there's this basement, which I don't know why they never closed it. There's this basement that's full of rooms, and obviously the rooms are in our classrooms. I don't know why, but one day I say, hey, let's just go to the basement. Nobody uses there. Like, all the classes usually are in the morning. So, all right. As we were walking down the basement, it's all dark. There's no switch lights or anything. Nothing. So it's all okay. Let's just use our cell phones. That's our light. So we went to one of the rooms there's no switch in the rooms, so it's all sensor based. So as soon as we walked into our room, the lights went on. I was like, all right, cool, bet. Let's set up here. There's nobody here. Mind you, there's like this whole basement has like at least 3 or 4 rooms. So there was one room across us and like 2 more at the end of the hall. And we were the only ones. And we were the only ones because we found about it. And our door, we left it open because it was kind of hot. So we left it open and we can actually see the stairs to go up. And at the bottom of the stairs, there's this like gate, like, I kid you not. Remember what I said. There's no switch on the rooms, on the classrooms. It's all motion sensor. So we were minding our business, writing down, and we started to notice that the hallway, it started to light up. So it's like, oh, someone's in the classroom. So when I took a peek out of it, the classroom that was like in front of us or like diagonally corner, it was on. And then from the peak of the door, it's like, I didn't see anybody. There was literally nobody there. I was like, hello, anybody there? And then all of a sudden, the two classes at the end of the hall started to light up as well.
That's great, man.
Yeah. I said to myself, it's like, all right, guys, I just wanted to give you a heads up. All the classrooms have the lights on. I'm going to take my book bag and my computer and I'm going to go outside and continue on with the studies. And they were like, what? Why, guy? Dude, what's wrong? It's like, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen so many horror movies and I don't want to be that guy that gets to get killed first. Like, nope, I'm good. It's like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, have you guys heard of the nun story? That a nun hanged herself in this university when it was an asylum? You guys never heard of that story? Oh, yeah, but that's a myth. That's an urban legend, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know what? It might be an urban legend. I ain't taking my chances.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I just saw 3 fucking classrooms. Lights turn on automatically and there's nobody in there. I said hello like 3 fucking times. Nobody answered. I ain't taking my chances. And it's like, oh, don't worry. Like, bro, I'm gonna check you, bro. Let's say. So one of them actually came, check out the classrooms. Nobody was the one that I already said. And he went down the hall. He peeked in. He peeked around. There's nobody there. So so he's like, oh, nobody. All the classrooms lights started to turn off. So it's like, nope, that's it. I'm gone. I'm out. I just walked straight up from the basement and went up. And it's like, I ain't not going in there anymore. You guys are on your own. Sorry, guys. And I walked out. That was probably the near scary experience I ever had in my life, bro. Maybe there was a ghost. Maybe there isn't. But I have heard theories from what's the other term of ghost?
Poltergeist?
Poltergeist. There's another word. Ectoplasm. Like it's not that you don't see it, but you can feel when there's like a presence well known in the area, and the motions, and you have to see it through a thermal imagery. So I believe, like, okay, if ghosts are in that type of shape, and again, the only way for these lights to turn on is by sensor. So somebody had to be in those classrooms inside and walk in and turn it on. It doesn't turn on if you're walking in the hallway, because we were there for a couple of minutes and we're like picking which one would you want to choose. We choose the first one, and then it takes like 5 seconds to turn on. So why the hell did all these classrooms, when there was nobody there, turn on the lights because of it?
Yeah, it's funny you should mention the whole like motion sensor thing, because that's a detail I left out of my dorm experience because I don't know, I just completely blocked it. But so at the hallway where I was at, there were 2 motion sensors, and one is at the very beginning of the from the turn of the hallway, and the other one is right next to my door. And when I was at my keyboard, I would notice the lights on the hallway, because like you have this small little window under your door, like where you can see. Like, so I would know if the lights are on and off on the hallway, and I would just notice they would keep going off and on at really irregular times. And that was always when I was hearing the footsteps. So I was just like, wait, who's walking past my door at this hour? And like I said, they would have to walk past them.
Right.
And like regarding the door, the footsteps would always fade away at the start there. And sometimes they would start at the opposite. Sometimes I would start to hear them coming from where the door was supposed to be and past my room. And then I would notice the lights flicker on. They would like flicker on like this when you walk past them. So at some point I actually did like leap from my chair and open my door and check if there was someone on the hallway. And there would never be anyone. And I was just like, am I hearing things? Oh. And then logically I would think, no, because the lights went on and they wouldn't go on if I just left my head out the window, let out the door, because I would have to walk past. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, what is this? But like, I wasn't scared of that because like, it's just footsteps, but it was just kind of, it's that weird feeling like you're not scared, but you're not exactly not scared. You know what I mean?
You're not thrilled about the situation. You're like, don't worry, I got this. But then again, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. It's just because I think it's because you don't know what's truly happening and that all the questions are in your head. And that creates this kind of like, should I be scared kind of situation?
Like you let your imagination run wild in your head and, you think of all the possible things. Like, would you try to think logically? And then when logic kicks out of the window, then you start to imagine all the wildest things that could be true. And you stick by it. And then you're like, okay, should I be afraid or should I not? Should I investigate or you're in this limbo space in which what's going to happen because you don't know what's going to happen. And you're just assuming. Your imagination is running wild.
And I have another story for you, and it's not mine. It's a story of a friend of mine.
Oh boy!
This one, Raphael, is the scariest story I know.
Oh,
this is terrifying because of the implications of this story. If it was a ghost, I don't know if it's scarier if this was a ghost or not. But you will have to decide after the story is done.
All right, go.
So I have this friend, and he, like, when he was younger, like all of us, he liked to roam around in abandoned apartments or apartment blocks or something. But because sometimes there would be, like here in AR, when a house was up for sale or for like reevaluation or some shit or reinvestment or something, they would just be abandoned. No one would live in them. So they would just be empty. And a friend of mine, he liked to walk around these houses at night just to, like, I don't know, maybe it was a bravery test. I don't know what it was. But okay, to get inside this specific house, all the doors were locked and shut, but there was this one door to the basement. And to get into the house, there was this small little window, and he's a big guy. So he would actually have to like pull himself up and like feet first and then just swivel into this thing. So it was hard to get inside, which means it's going to be hard as fuck to get back outside, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on 3 stories. It's the basement. There's the second floor, or technically first floor. Okay, there's a first
floor and then second, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a basement, a first floor, and a second floor, whatever. And he's on the first floor, I think, and he starts to hear like this, like a rattling, and he's just like, that's kind of weird. But he continues because it's an old abandoned house, and there's a lot of stray cats in AR and like mice or whatever. So he just like, rodents. Like, who wouldn't think that at this point?
Yeah.
So he's on the second floor, and he notices when he's on the second floor that there's actually an attic, and he's just like, And there's a staircase to the attic, but he doesn't think about it too much. But he's still on the second floor, and he starts to hear rattling coming from the ceiling, the attic. And he's just like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. And because the brave man that he is, he goes towards the stairs to the attic. And don't worry, he doesn't go up to the attic. He's a tall guy, so he just kind of like goes towards the stairs and just kind of looks around with his head, and he sees nothing. And he's just like, wait, there's no rodents, there's no cats, and there's just a lot of boxes here. So he's just like, yeah, I think it's time to go.
Where the
So
sound came
he's
from.
going down the stairs from the second floor. He's almost at the first floor. And then he hears something is running towards him from the attic. He hears like at full speed. Something is sprinting towards him. So he runs and he lunges himself and breaks through the front door. And he didn't even look back. He just ran like all hell.
Oh.
Like, how fucking scary is that?
Oh, hell no.
Because, like, was that a ghost? Was that a person running at him? Like,
the fear of the unknown, bro. Because you don't know what it is. You don't know what. Yo. No.
Like I said, this is the scariest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, no.
Because I don't know if that would have been me. I don't know if I would have even. Like, I think I would have just died. I probably would have just passed out.
Oh, bro, I will freak out. Like, I don't even know what to. I'll be stupid enough to go back to the basement and try to get out from the window. I'll be that dumb because, like, well, front door is locked. I'm not physically strong enough to, bust in like James Bond shit,
Yeah, his just adrenaline and survival instinct kicked in because he just ran and just lunged through the front door. And I was just like, man, I would have been, because when he told me this, I was just like, I would have been dumb enough to look back.
I'll be dumb enough to look back too. Absolutely, bro. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, and maybe, I don't know, maybe at that point, I would not think enough. I guess I said, I'll go back to the basement. But then again, where was the basement again? And if you're in that panic stage and you don't know where to go, this is just a random house. And what the fuck is going on? Yeah, no, I'll be freaked out. You don't know.
But I really I want to put that in a script sometime because I know exactly what I'm going to do with the scene.
This is more of a, what do you think this is like more of a horror film or a TV show?
I would probably just put it, like I said, I just have the scene in my head, but I would probably, like, if I had to put it somewhere, maybe I'll sneak it into my show, but
that'll be dope. I mean, if anybody can do sneaky things, it'll be you. You'll be throwing some Yu-Gi-Oh reference here and there in the show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if like, let's say if I'm lucky enough to act in the show, I have this.
Yeah. I want to switch topics now to more Yu-Gi-Oh reference now because I'm a little bit spooked up with everything that we've talked about now. I'm a bit a little like all right, let's just talk something funny and happy and enjoyable, because like I don't know how I'm gonna go on with my life after this. I was actually gonna tell you because today, so my story for today, for me, the reason why I actually ended up a little bit late for our thing, well, not late, but I managed to get on time to do our thing, was because I was actually back to my first Yu-Gi-Oh logo shop in a long. I mean, before the pandemic, I usually go like every weekend. Then when the pandemic hits, like all my local shops, like, closed down and nobody, they weren't doing any tournaments or anything like that. They weren't letting anybody in. There was only come here, buy and leave, and that's it. Only a few people are allowed. So then this new shop opened up and nothing but great people in there. There was like a lot of positive energy through between the players and the vendors, and it was my first time coming in to play since the pandemic.
So what'd you play?
I play Invoke Shadows.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah, I actually wanted to play Invoke Shadow Dogma, but I didn't have the Nadir servants. And I ordered the Nadir servants on time to make it like, all right, come in here at time. 2 of the Nadir servants didn't came yesterday, so now they're coming tomorrow. I'm like, damn it! I thought because it was East Coast where I order it, was gonna come here sooner. But then Yeah, and it never showed up. And then the other Nadir servant guy hasn't shipped it yet. So it's like, seriously, dude? Like, and I email him and say like, hey, when are you planning to ship it? You know, like, can you send me the check? He hasn't shipped it yet. So I was like, golly, dude, just like, if not, just let me know if you're not gonna give it to me, because I could just like ask for a refund and I bought the card somewhere else. But I thought the other two, because at least I'll manage to play with the two. I'll figure out a way. I thought they were gonna come here sooner, but no. So I removed the Dogma package and went straight to Invoke Shadows. And you know what? It's a good thing I did, because wow, it's wow how now the meta is gonna shift. My first round was, believe it or not, Ignisters.
Really? I love that deck,
bro. The new support for Ignisters, holy crap!
It's awesome.
Ignister's gonna be a meta deck. It's gonna be a tier 1 deck. Guarantee. Because I was just struggling. I was struggling the whole time. The first turn, the guy managed to get a rival out with 4K body.
Yeah, and it's unaffected.
I thought I could just super poly him, because super poly is not targeted. It's just, I can just swoop in. No, the ruling on the field is like, no, like, it's like Ultimate Falcon. It's unaffected by cards. Like, you can only either run him over or kaiju, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, damn, bro. I thought I lost that round, but I managed to win because of Winda. Winda's the OG. She clutched. Round 2 was hold on, I remember I Dinos. I lost against Dinos. I didn't lose badly at Dinos. I had him. Because I had every answer for him on Dinos. But the problem was, because the problem to Invoke Shadows is that because it's a control deck, usually you don't draw cards enough to have monsters on the field to OTK on the next turn, Usually at that point I only have 2 or 3 cards, Winda and Mekaba or Winda and Rajin, and just, try to run over with it. And by the time it was end my turn, he draw the card that needs to, come back again and just run me over. Just like, damn, that sucks. The third one was Dragoon Beatdown. Somebody was just crazy enough to just run 3 copies of Poly, 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, and 3 copies of Super Poly, and just have like lots of hand shots and just play down Dragoon Beatdown.
I love it.
That's just degenerate, bro. That's like I thought this shit was, and the guy was inexperienced. I can tell that he was inexperienced. Yet he found ways to outrun me and how to clear out my board. I was like, what is going on here? He had respawns for droplets, for ashes, for everything. Super Poly's like, you name it. He had the respawns for everything. I'm like, what in the sand crap is going on? And lastly, I lost to my Dolces.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to counter. You never know what the fuck you're supposed to counter.
I thought like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy. I got Nibiru. That's the only way to finish him off. I got Nibiru. Guy had freaking Herald of the Orange Light with a Neva and just like negates me. Like, what? I don't know, Moldoche? What? What are the odds? And oh, by the way, I started first on the first two games, and I ended him with fucking Winda and a Rajin out, or Winda and a Mekaba. So I was like, bro, you can't special summon. If you have my doses, that you're done.
Yeah.
This guy kaiju's me.
Have you noticed that when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like you yourself never seem to draw your hand traps or disruptions, but your opponent always has them
all the time?
It's so weird.
It's the weirdest shit ever, because it happened to me today that when I really wanted the hand traps, no. When I really needed the monsters, my hand full of hand traps. And it's like, one turn I have 3 Ash Blossoms. In one game, I have 3 Ash Blossoms. And the guy barely did any effects that enabled me to negate him. So it was...
That's why in my hero deck, I actually only run the one hand trap. Well, I run 3 of it, but I only have the one hand trap. The rest of it goes into the side deck, so I know what I'm going to side out, because my hero deck is designed that it can go first or second, but I only run the 3 impermanents because it's designed in a way that I know exactly what to swap out given when I know what I'm dealing with if I went first or second. But I want the deck to be as consistent as it possibly can be during that first game. So that's why I only run the 3 impermanents, because I always want to see other cards in my opening hand. And well, the hero deck is just designed in a particular way that I designed it. Like, my friend actually has this incredible deck that he made, and it has a lot of different shit in it, but it's weirdly consistent. He once went with the Mechaba and Winda and all, the classic.
Yeah.
And based on my hand, I only had the 1 impermanence, and I did not use it on the Winda. I used it on the Mechaba.
What?
And then I flipped over Polymerization, I summoned Trinity, and I discarded Honest Neos. It was game over.
Oh!
And he had the same response. He was just like, wait, why are you negating the Mechaba, not the Winda? And then I just told him, because I only need the 1 special summon. And flipped the Polymerization.
That's wild, bro. Like, today, if anything, it's like I should go back to my machine monsters. And the funny thing is that you say about your heroes is like you don't really need that many hand traps. You just need the free and side everything else if you need to. Drytrons are the same. You don't put hand traps on Drytron. Like, if you watch every list, if you watch mine, all my big hand traps like Lancia, Droll, Ash, like Harpies or Nibiru's or Dark Ruler No Mores or Droplets, they're all in the side deck. Everything else is just extenders, and free bodies,
Yeah.
That's how Drytron works. It's just a combo deck that, you can play through and you just keep it coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't need hand traps because you got that one monster that's a floodgate.
Yeah. And also I just, the reason I do play heroes and, my hero deck list is unlike any other hero deck list. I know this for a fact because I spent 6 months crafting it, but and I'm really proud of it because it bounces back really well. And like I said, he had all those things in front of me, and I was just like, no, I know exactly what to do here. And I've shown people the list, and they was just like, why are you running 3 of him? Usually people only run 2 or 1. I was just like, because I know I kind of want to see it because it's Vion. I run 3 Vion, and they was just like, why are you running 3 instead of 2 or 1? Don't you want to summon him from the deck? And I was just like, well, I kind of like having the option of maybe if I see it in my hand and I have Ferris and I get ashed when I try to summon him from the deck, then I can just normal summon him and do the exact same thing. And I run 3 polymerization instead of 2. Like, some people only run 2 or 1 polymerization because games are so fast now. But I run the 3 because I always want to see at least 1 in my hand, because let's say if I ran only 2 or 1, maybe I wouldn't have been able to beat my friend because I drew that polymerization in my opening hand because I have 3 of them.
Yeah, sometimes it's always good to maximize your amount of cards that you really want to see. Then, like, you don't want to risk the chances. Like, just even though many people play 1, what if this and that? Then you basically set and pass. You want to avoid that, so you always want to be backed up all the time by just maximizing everything. Make sure.
Yeah, it's just like my friend had this brilliant rule. He said regarding ratios. He said 3 if you want to see it, 2 if you want to draw it, 1 if you want to search it.
3 if you want to see it, 2 if you want to draw it. No, 2 if you want to draw it, and 1 if you want to search it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought, wow, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that came directly from him. We were discussing our ratios, and I was just like, because his deck is like wild when it comes to ratios, and I was just like, can you justify any of this? And he was just like, 3 if you want to see it, 2 if you want to draw it, 1 if you want to search it. And I was just like, that's fucking brilliant.
I wish that some of my, damn, now I gotta look at it on every other deck that I have. It's like, how much do I really want to see this card?
Yeah. And I was just like, I thought about the whole 2 if you want to draw it. And I was just like, what does he mean by that? And then you look at his deck and he he's running like Magician Souls and all these kind of draw spells. And I was just like, yeah, his deck is drawing kind of much, isn't it? So that's why he's only running 2 of certain cards, because he's trying to he's actually like digging towards them and keeping other cards at 1, so he can specifically search them out to make the percentages higher of drawing the actual other cards instead of having them all at 3. And I was just like, this is some next level thinking.
Yeah, I just go by what other people tells me is like, hey, this is good, this is bad. It's like, all right, cool. And then I look at my cards. It's like, I like to see this more. I like to see this less, and just go by it. I didn't even put any thought process of that level. Now I'm gonna look at every other deck that I have. It's like, all right, let's see how this shit works.
Yeah, just like 3 if you want to see it, 2 if you want to draw it, 1 if you want to search it.
Words of advice, bro. Words of advice.
Yeah, I actually last weekend I went to the card shop.
Oh, really?
I played my first in real life Yu-Gi-Oh duel for a hot minute. I have not played Yu-Gi-Oh face to face with a person so long. Even though some of my friends here play Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just like I've really kind of fallen out of it. I still watch the content and I still watch Zemo. I watched your episode where Zemo was a guest.
Thank you.
Heartbroken that I wasn't mentioned. Nah, I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna revisit that one.
Well, maybe I missed the part, but
I'm pretty sure I mentioned through a mutual friend.
Yeah,
you are the mutual friend.
Yeah, exactly. and yeah, I played. There was this guy who had an ABZ deck, which I found interesting. I beat him 2-1. The reason it bugged me is because it didn't feel like a back and forth, because it totally depended on who went first. Because I went first, and my board was Absolute Zero, Dark Law, and Mass changed face down. So yeah, he had nothing to counter that. And then we go into game 2. He does all the creates the floodgates, the disruptions, and I was just like, I try to play through it, but I can't, because he has Masquerena and does all the link shenanigans during my turn. It's just like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing in my main phase?
Did he pull the Underworld Goddess on you?
Well, Appaloosa, yeah.
Oh, he did Appaloosa. No, there's this card that's called Underworld Goddess of the Underworld.
Yeah, the link 5.
Yes, the ruling stands that if you have IP Masquerena, you link her off, you can take a monster from your opponent's side of the field.
Yeah.
So that ruling stands that he can steal one of your monsters and use it as a summoning with your monster. If you have enough for the conditions to meet, then yeah, they can steal it from you. Yeah. No.
Yeah. And
what else have you played?
I've just really gotten into Cardfight Vanguard. It's so fun.
I just recently started it through the app, and then I just got involved by buying a couple of cards, man.
Yeah. I really love playing Vanguard, especially with my friends, because some of the matches can get really exciting, and sometimes we'll just be laughing our asses off during a match, and I miss that whole fun aspect of it. I don't really get that from Yu-Gi-Oh unless I'm playing GOAT format with my friends, because of the weird plays you make. And the thing about Vanguard is you 100% get your turn. The only thing your opponent can do is guard.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't even work out for them. And I like the element of surprise for the trigger elements. And I love this shit because it keeps you on your toes, and you have to start thinking okay, wait, if I guard here and make him 1 to pass, if he hits a trigger, that one gets through, but he'll have to put the power here, so this one won't go through. But if I say no guard and he hits a critical, he'll deal me 2 damage, and this one will be harder to guard. So you really have to, and then maybe he hits and then you go for a 2 to pass, and he hits 2 triggers, and you're just like, oh my god, this changes everything.
And then you just try to hope that you draw the health trigger, and just save for 1 more turn, or have that one Centennial in your hand, then just drop it.
I've gotten really good at Vanguard. Actually, my friend is a veteran Vanguard player, and we've played through Discord, just through the camera. And I was really proud of when he said he was thoroughly impressed by how well I was actually playing the game. It's also because of the Switch game that I've just really started to make my own little strategies. Like I have terms for my own little plays. Like my signature play that my friends here know of is the second turn rush. It's such a detailed oriented play from me, and sometimes I just like playing, like thinking outside of the box, like just, okay, Draconic Overlord, he can restand if the attack hits. So usually if I attack the Vanguard with him, they'll go for a perfect guard, so the attack won't go through and they'll just be a waste of an attack. Sometimes I'll just go, okay, I'll attack your rear guard, and they'll just be like, do I really want to guard this? And so I'm taking out a rear guard, and then also, I like kind of fucking with them because sometimes they're going to decide, like, because to restand Overlord, you have to discard 2 cards, and you also get you get 2 cards from your drive check, but sometimes you'll wind up losing them. I attacked this one time with Overlord, and I hit a critical trigger and a draw trigger, and then he hit a defensive. He hit his own critical trigger in the damage check, and then something else, and I looked at all the cards in his hand at the moment, so I decided when I hit the triggers, I put the power to the rear guard instead and decided to not restand Overlord, to keep the shield value in my hand, because I knew I'm not going to be able to clutch this game out, because I knew he was holding a perfect guard in his hand. He was just allowing the Overlord to get through, hoping I would discard my cards. And I was just like, I read you like a fucking book.
Bro, I actually started playing Vanguard just recently, and I'm very intrigued because it's something different. And you're right. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh, like today's Yu-Gi-Oh, that you basically have to have either try to figure out how to break an unbreakable board or lay out a 20 negate board.
Yeah,
you know, it's definitely much more counter-based and more strategic. Like, you gotta think 2 steps ahead and see, like, all right, if I step this one out, will this help me out? And then depending on the triggers, whether it's a game changer or not. I started to play around more in the app, so that way I can actually learn more and get used to it. So that way, when I play in real life, I can actually like try to compete with others. You know, my favorite deck so far is the Link Jokers.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. I'd recommend checking out this guy called Different Fight. He actually plays the Switch game on his channel, and he has this whole playthrough, because the mobile game is really kind of different from the actual game.
It is different game, because when I bought some of the structured decks and I read the rules of it, it was kind of different for how the mobile game was, you know, because there were certain things that the mobile game does restrict you, but you are allowed to do it in the actual real life. So it's like, okay, that's good to know, you know, because I would have pulled just the same way as the mobile game, but I have to keep the rulebook necessary and reread it again, so I'll know that whenever I play against somebody, know like, all right, remember, it works like this. It doesn't work like that, you know?
Yeah. What I also love about Vanguard is the accessories you can buy. You can buy these custom sleeves that are still the card back, but made for specific clans. Like, you can buy, they still look like the Cardfight Vanguard cards. They have that card back, but they're red or yellow or, I gotta show you this. This is from a deck I'm trying to put together.
Oh.
Usually the card back is like this,
right?
But this is, I'm currently waiting for the rest of the deck to arrive, because this is probably going to be my favorite deck ever. But I bought these. This is Gear Chronicle.
That looks beautiful.
Like, I love these sleeves. They're so fucking cool.
Damn, I should get some cool sleeves like that. I just basically got myself some, regular sleeves to the cards, because the new local shop that I go, they do Vanguard tournaments too. So it's like, all right, that's dope. I can try it out there. But I haven't fully invested it enough for me to play in real life, that I just want to train myself a little bit and learn more and more until I can actually like feel comfortable enough. It's like, all right, I want to participate in some of these tournaments and play with Link Jokers, you know?
Yeah, the Link Joker trial deck is pretty good. You would have to buff it a bit up. I can probably show you what cards to get to make it if you're going for the deleter build, because I played that deck thoroughly.
Oh, I'll show you all the cards that I got, because mainly because I played Link Jokers, because it locks your opponent's rear guards. So now when then it's their turn and you cannot use their rear guards to boost up your attack, this is like, so what are you gonna do now? I just basically lock your entire rear guard. How are you gonna play?
I also, my friend who lived in Japan, he got back to Iceland recently. I actually met him in the card shop when we played Vanguard. He's trying to get into it.
Yeah.
He actually gave me this. This is a Japanese Dark Rebellion.
Ooh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's my favorite Xyz monster. So that was kind of a nice gift. I have one more thing I want to show you because what I like also about Vanguard is the artwork, because like the new standard, like the new standard game also rebooted a lot of their old cards, and they put the original artwork on some of them, and I had to get my hands on one of those, and I actually have one here. Oh yeah, and I also bought myself these for Kagero, like foil triggers.
Oh, that's dope.
It adds a bit of a flair when you actually hit them.
Yeah, another thing why I actually got into Vanguard, the artwork is just beautiful. Like this is just like really top-notch artwork stuff. Like look at these two. I mean, if you could see. Oh wait, hold on. I'm showing it on this camera now. Like one with the scythe and one with the sword, and it's like, oh my god, how do you come up with this stuff? You know, it's so beautiful.
So for Kagero, you have your Overlord with the new artwork.
My god.
I'm running 2 of these because you can run 4. I have 4 Dragonic Overlords. I have 2 of this artwork.
And then 2 of the others. Of the OG. Man, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it's such a fucking beautiful card.
Yeah. And I also I forgot before I go. I also say that the beauty about these Vanguard cards is that when they do the same card with an alternative artwork, the effects are different or better. I noticed that a lot on some of the cards because I always try to look for the same card and I'm like, why is this so expensive and this card is cheap? Like, and then I put both of them together. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. The attack power is different and the effects are different, but it's the same card, but an alternative art. That's wild. And I find it fascinating. It's like, I wish some of these alternate arts can change the effects and the attack of, the cards, on Yu-Gi-Oh! In a way. I also love the dimensional robos.
Yeah, Dimension Police.
Yeah. Those robos, I love it, bro. They look so Gundam-esque like they even got the feature of the face, bro. That fascinates me a lot because that deck just looks like a big pile of Transformers and Gundams all together ready to fight, bro. That's the whole reason why I bought these two, to practice each other out, Link Jokers, obviously, so I can lock my opponent out. And the Robos is more because, I like the artwork is just looks like a Gundam. Like I want to own a Gundam. I mean, that's another reason why I fell in love with Zeus and Drytron and Orzartix. They all look Gundam-based monsters. They all look like Gundams. That's like one of my favorite TV shows.
Yeah, and like I said, what I love about Vanguard is the element of surprise. Like, I love being on my toes constantly.
Yes.
And I actually had a match with my friend Mikael. He was playing Aqua Force and I was playing Grand Blue.
Oh.
And during my last turn, so much on the edge of our seats that when I did the drive check, he only did a 1 to pass. He took a huge fucking gamble on it. It was just like, I flipped the first one, no trigger. And I was just like, and then it didn't, and he barely survived the next turn, but I knew I was going to lose on the next turn. But after that, when the match was over, we both just leaned back in our chairs and we were just like, our hearts were pounding.
Yeah,
and I haven't gotten that feeling from Yu-Gi-Oh! For so long. I miss the rush.
Yeah, because now it's just more about, it's all about dice roll and try to break my board.
Yeah, I don't remember who said it. Maybe it was MBT or maybe it was Zemo or someone. But it was just like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is basically like playing golf. It's about playing the game the least.
Yeah, basically, it's wild how crazy it has evolved from what it was back then into what it is right now. And I feel like people who want to try to play the card game now, they'll feel a little bit spooked. They'll be like, what the hell is this? And I feel like they'll rather go play Pokemon or Vanguard at that point because at least it's much more straightforward and it's a turn-based gaming, you know? I didn't know that Pokemon was a turn-based gaming too. Like, you know, you do your thing, your turn. You can't do anything on your opponent's turn. You just have to wait until he does his thing, and then you just battle each other out. So
Yeah, I think that's why I prefer Vanguard over Pokemon, because even though in Vanguard you get your own turn, but you still get to guard stuff. Like when the opponent's doing his shit, it's just like, okay, I can still try to survive this turn. But during Pokemon, you literally just have to watch as your opponent runs over you.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I mean, if you don't have the hand traps, you just basically wait until your opponent runs you over like it was nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But Vanguard, I like Vanguard. I really am intrigued because of the artwork and how the play standard is. Like, you know, it's never like, oh, it's over in this turn. Like, no, you can still survive this turn.
Yeah.
So and then once you survive, you're like, yes, all right, let's go. Let's try to finish this game right now. Like adrenaline kicks in and just like go full throttle on it.
Yeah, and I also like how damage is used as a resource. You know, the counterblast. So sometimes you strategically have to take damage in order to do stuff, and sometimes that can even pay off. Like I was at 4 damage the other day, and you can only take 6. And my friend was playing Aqua Force, and that's an Excel deck, so he just had a full board, and I was just like, I was trying to calculate what to guard, and he attacked with a first one. He attacked with a bigger number, which is really smart. He attacked with one of the biggest numbers first to force me to guard, but he was trying to force me to guard, and I just said, I thought, I looked at my hand in his field, and I was just like, if I take this, and if my damage check is a trigger, I can 100% survive this turn. So I just went for it. I was just like, no guard. And I hit a draw trigger. So I was just like, oh, it paid off.
Oh.
I'm alive.
That's wild, bro. See,
and also since it was a draw trigger, I could draw an extra card. So now my shield value increased.
See, that's one of the cool things about Vanguard, man. You know, I wish that some of that stuff can be applied to Yu-Gi-Oh! Again and just not do all this crazy shenanigans just to have a stupid ass board and make sure your opponent doesn't play or you don't play, you know? Like it's no fun. It's not fun. Like I wish Yu-Gi-Oh! Could be much more fun than it is competitive. I think this is my opinion. I think it started to die out when hand traps began to rise.
Yeah, I completely agree. As soon as it got to that level, it got too disruptive. And also, like, I thought it was so unfair at first because, like, Ash Blossom was such an expensive card. Like, if you couldn't buy it, you were, like, fucked.
Yeah, basically. And then you got other cards like the DD Crows, the Infinite Impermanence, and those were expensive. I mean, they still are. For 20, the lowest you can get is a $20 card, and then the highest is $70. Like some of these stables and hand traps, I feel like hand traps itself ruin Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
I feel like you can still play Yu-Gi-Oh! Without the hand traps. If you eliminate the hand trap portion of the game, I think you can, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Could be a little bit much more healthier. Because now you can just, instead of running free of this, because you know you're going to get negated on one of them, by a hand trap, you can just play like 2s and one-offs, you know, and just play every card that you want to play, you know, and just have it, you know, like, let's go at it.
Yeah, I also think, like, I don't think there's anything more annoying in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, when you go second and your opponent has built, like, this ginormous board that's just going to negate, like, 4 of your plays, and you have to, like, you're thinking, and then you just go, fine, I'll play the emergency call, and he drops an Ash, and it was just like, wow, that's another disruption.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, bro. That and probably broken ass cards that should have never existed to begin with.
No, the power creep is real, man. The thing about printing broken cards is now you have to print something that can
top
beat it.
That.
And then you have to
tap that one, and then so on and so on.
And cards do too much today.
Yeah, like what?
Just like look at Vion. That's a simple hero card, but when it's normal special, it dumps a hero from the deck to the grave, and you can use it to banish a hero to add a polymerization. Like, and that's just, to me, that's not doing way too much, but that's just the fucking start.
That's just the start. Look at Miscellaneous. Have you read Miscellaneous?
No, I don't have to read that card.
Yeah, it just simply all right. dump this into my graveyard. All dinos are protected. Oh, banish this card and then special summon a dino. Like, oh, it's already a combo starter.
Mm-hmm.
What was the recent card that just got out? There was a card that I was complaining not too long ago. Oh, I was complaining to one of the server guys from Simo server. What's his name? Moto. I was just like got annoyed about it. I was like, oh yeah, Mermaid is not a toxic card. I'm like, Nightmare Mermaid is not a toxic card. It's like, yeah, it's not broken. Like it could be on ban. I'm like, Bro, I was the only one going back and forth with him. I was surprised that nobody jumped in. I was like, dude, do you have any idea why this card is banned? Like, oh, wow. Like, it can do a free special summon. You have to link off by a link monster. Like, you know, it does. Like, it's so many stuff that you can't do any. Like, you could stop it. And I was like, wait, what? Bro. Nightmare Mermaid was the reason why Orcus was one of the best in the format.
Yeah, it's also that I don't think there's a good defense. It's just, no, it's not too broken if it can't be stopped. Well, every card can be stopped. It doesn't mean it's not broken. It's like I can stop Red Eyes Dragoon.
Yeah.
But that does not mean the card is not fucking busted.
I can stop Winda. I can have Winda out, but it doesn't mean that Winda is not broken. Like, it's a stupid card. VFD, it doesn't mean like I can just kaiju VFD, but that doesn't mean that its effect is still no longer there. Like it's linger effects continues on. Imperm or droplets, whatever you can think of for VFD. Like it's again, it's these toxic cards.
Yeah, that's like saying Pot of Greed can come back because you can ash it.
Oh yeah, let's have Pot of Greed for free. Oh, imagine how that shit would just go rampant. Think, Mark, think. I swear to you, I was literally, I was just ready to cuss him out. I was ready to cuss him out because, like, at one point it's like, all right, let me keep it civil. Let me keep it civil. I tagged Simo. Ask Simo. He was an Orcus player as well for that format. He can tell you how stupid and broken Nightmare Mermaid is and why it should continue to be there, because unban that card, I guarantee you no Orcus will come back. And if it's not Orcus, any other card will abuse it because, bro, any Nightmare card from your deck, you can special summon it? You're telling me that I can just have Ibly and Orcus Nightmare on the field? Bro, just having Ibly itself means you can no longer special summon monsters, only link monsters. And you're telling me it's not broken. Like it's not a toxic card. And like in today's world, it's not gonna be toxic card.
And especially with all the stuff they newly made just to make Orcus like kind of playable again, which means that if Mermaid comes back, those cards will just get infinitely better.
And an insane amount of, you know what? What am I talking, bro? What am I talking about? Just unban Colossus. Just limit Colossus.
Like think about it. If Mermaid comes back, that means that Girsu, the Orcus Nightmare, is going to be like the level 4 card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Nightmare Mermaid comes back, Girsu has to go because that card is a 1 card. Like it summons itself, it creates a token. So you could go into Phoenix, then go into Mermaid, and it would just be a 1 card. And it would be like Armageddon Knight all over again. And I'm not up for that shit.
Yeah. And that's just, that's its normal effect on Girsu. If you use its Mech Knight effect, it automatically becomes a tuner.
Yeah.
So you can, all you need is 1 Danger Mothman of your hand to have it on your field, tune it into Savage Dragon or Hockey Vibrate Shenanigans. Why not?
See, this is why modern Yu-Gi-Oh gives me a headache. We've been talking about like 15 different strategies that can pop up from 1 card.
For 1 toxic card.
It's just like, this is not the game I fell in love with.
No, bro. I came back because I had the nostalgia factor hit me when I used to watch the original Duel Monsters and GX and a little bit of 5Ds. And when I came back, I started watching Vrains. I know the stories of Setzel and Arc 5 through the Switch game. I mean, for whatever was told. So like I got a resume out of it. So I understand more or less of the characters and 5Ds too. And yeah, like the game, like today's game is just like, I feel like eliminate all hand traps. Maybe it'll be much more fun, playable, or maybe have, this is just me talking shit at this point, you know, like I maybe have cards that doesn't enable you 10, 20 steps to give you an insane amount of board.
Yeah, it's just like, what if they do what Vanguard did? They just reboot the game. Like, that's what they did. They rebooted the game, but you can still play in the old formats. They still do premium tournaments, and they do standard and stuff like that. And I really admire that. I wish they would do something similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Just reboot this shit, man.
I feel it needs a good soft reboot. Like, give me a format that we don't have to deal with this shit, you know? Just reboot it. Just let's start over again. And if you look at it at a business point, like if you do that, people will get involved with it and people will fuck with it even more, and they'll be like, let's buy it, because at the end of the day, people are still gonna buy cards. People are still gonna spend money on the cards. So if you reboot it and give it to a format, then you know. And I love about Vanguard that it has like various formats that you get to choose which one format you want to play, right?
Yeah, just play within your comfort zone.
So you can play the old format, the intertwined format, which is like both old and new, and then you can play just the new, right?
Yeah, so it's premium and standard. Standard is what's currently going on, and premium is all cards are allowed.
Okay, see, that's actually fun. That's actually fun because, again, you can do so much with one or the other. Like, if you don't want to play all the cards, then just play the recent ones. Yeah. Just play recent, and that's it.
Yeah, and what I like about that is, like, this is a V-Series deck right here. Mm-hmm. There's nothing stopping me from going to a premium tournament with just this.
Oh, interesting. So
that's all cards allowed. So I could just go to a premium tournament with this. I'd probably get my ass beat, but at least I could play with the cards that I'm comfortable with.
Right.
And even what I like about Vanguard is, like, you can have a really, really good deck, but you can still lose to a trial deck if the player's good enough and luck factors into it. But there's not the ceiling is not too high. It's just like,
right. Is it usually more of a, like, is it more like of a die roll dice?
Not really.
Or very more luck. Like if you got the right cards at that right time.
Yeah, well, there's always a little luck, but I feel like even like if you're skilled enough, you can play. If you're skilled enough and you know what your opponent is playing and you know what to guard and when, you can pretty much like play through any game. Like I only have the Link Joker trial deck. I don't have any extra cards, but I still use the trial deck against my friends who like have updated their decks really well, and I sometimes beat them with the trial deck because I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So that's fun.
I'm looking forward to play more of the Vanguards, honestly, man. I really am, because now that you said that you're into it, like, oh, now I'm gonna get into it as well. And we can definitely play around in Discord, man, and whenever we get chances about it, man.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
So now you got me all hooked about it, bro. Now I just need to buy the playmat so that way I know where to guide myself, because I like buying playmats, and I like, you know, to know where all the stuff is supposed to be, you know.
Yeah.
Well, my man, I'm about to wrap this up, man. It was an interesting conversation. We're making a 2-series episode with this. So thank you very much for coming in to my show, bro, once more. And I can't
wait for having me back.
And I can't wait to hear more about your show when it's much more right there for the mid-season and how it goes, man. I definitely want to talk about more when it's, you know, when you're done finishing all the episodes at the series, and then we can talk some more about that type of stuff and talk more. And probably
definitely.
Probably next time when we talk, bro, we'll probably, you know, talk about a little bit more about Vanguards, man. So I'm all
for that.
I'm all for it, bro. So thank you very much for coming in, brother. Like, plug yourself out before we wrap it up. You got any social medias, like anybody that wants to follow you and interested to see your work?
They can just probably follow me on Instagram. I don't do a lot of like stuff I'm working on. It's just stuff from my daily life. Other than that, well, I have a YouTube channel, but my short films are all in Icelandic and they don't have subtitles yet. So.
I'm still waiting for those. You know, but I definitely want to see all of your work. Just send me. I mean, can I see them? If you send me a link, can I see that on my own?
Yeah, you can see the short films.
I just want to understand what it's. Okay, all right.
But I think like probably through visual storytelling. You can probably follow what's going on, but
I'm very visual. Like I can understand what's going on visually without saying. I could just like fill up the pieces, fill up the blanks.
yeah, there's a lot of that in the 40-minute film I made. There's a lot of that, like I've watched it without audio just when I was editing it, and I was just like, I can still kind of keep track of what's going on here.
It's cool. The Quiet Place is actually very, very intriguing because it's all no dialogues and it's just visually see what's happening, and that's how it gets you. Have you watched the second one or not yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna try to catch it soon, but I think the next film I'm gonna see in theaters is the new film from M. Night Shyamalan. It comes next month.
Old, yeah, that one. That one looks like okay. I think M. Night is coming back with this one.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Shyamalan, even though he's made a bunch of bad movies, but his really good ones are fucking amazing.
Yeah, Science is next level shit.
Yeah, like Unbreakable is one of my favorite films of all time. So
Sixth Sense is actually pretty great as well. Classic. Classic. I think after Science is like I haven't remember any other good M. Night Shyamalans because he set the bar high. After Science, he set the bar high.
Did you see Split?
No, I did not see Split. But
sounds pretty good.
Now that you mention it, it has mentioned to me that Split is actually pretty good for what it was, to be part of the Unbreakable saga, or universe, Unbreakable universe. So I mean, have you seen Servant, that one that's in Apple Plus?
No, I've yet to check them out.
I've seen the trailers. It looks intriguing, but I don't know if it's gonna be like that good, like in the trailers. Trailers sometimes fool me.
Well, I'm excited for the new one. I don't know why, but he's just a fascinating filmmaker to me because every time he makes a movie, it's going to be talked about.
Yeah,
because it's either going to be really good or really bad.
M. Night, bro, like he knows how to do his thing, bro.
Gotta respect that shit.
Yeah, one of the few directors, has a great passion with horrors and sci-fi and other crazy other shit that you normally would not expect, So Old is the next movie that I'm like, okay, M. Night, you got me. I got intrigued by the trailer itself. So now I'm curious to watch how this shit unfolds,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very crazy. So yeah, Ali, thank you very much for coming in, man. I can't wait to see you on the next one. And thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, every week it's a brand new episode with a brand new topic. So be sure to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Lone Wolf Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And of course, the YouTube channel at lonewolfpod.com. That's lonewolfpod.com all together. Okay, guys? Comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. Share your experience. If you guys got a certain topic that you want to discuss and you want me let me know or want Ollie to know, and we can probably bring this up on the next time that he comes over, please let us know in the comments down below and hit the notification bell for more weekly episodes. And thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.